Hey, yeah, it's Carrie. Welcome back to Of Mice and Men. This is part 5. Let's go. Part 5 is set in the barn late afternoon on Sunday. Lenny is alone in the barn and he is absolutely distraught because he has accidentally killed the puppy that Slim gave to him. He is very afraid that George is going to be upset with him and not allow him to have his rabbit hutch when they buy the farm. He's not going to be allowed to tend the rabbits. Curly's wife comes in and sees what has happened, and she actually tries to console Lenny. He really resists her attempts at a conversation because George has warned him to keep his distance from Curly's wife. She tells him, "Don't worry, nobody's gonna know. I won't tell anyone that you spoke to me." And they do fall into a conversation. Curly's wife kind of unburdens herself. We find out that she does not really like Curly. She says he's not a nice person. She never wanted to live on a ranch. She had dreamed about going into acting. Now, Lenny is not really listening to her. He's kind of lost in his own thoughts. And when he mentions rabbits again, she says, "Okay, fine. What is it you like about rabbits so much?" And Lenny says, "I like to pet rabbits. They're soft." She said, "Well, everybody likes that. In fact, that's why I brush my hair so much, because I like to touch soft things." And she invites Lenny to touch her hair. So Lenny kind of strokes her hair, and after a few moments, she tries to pull away. Lenny kind of has a panic moment, and he freezes with his hand in her hair. When he does not let her go, Curly's wife panics. She begins to struggle. To keep her from screaming, Lenny covers her mouth and shakes her, which breaks her neck and kills her instantly. Lenny realizes pretty quickly the gravity of what he has done, and he remembers what George said in part 1. If he's ever in trouble, he should go back to the campsite on the riverbank, and that is what Lenny does. Candy comes in and he discovers the body. He immediately goes and gets George, and they both seem to realize very quickly exactly what has happened. So George has a pretty good idea of where Lenny is gone, and he asks Candy, "Can you give me 2 minutes and then go outside, get the other men, and bring them in here like you've just found the body?" Before George leaves, Candy asks him, "Hey, is there any chance you and I can still get the farm?" And George says, "No, it's over. It's gone." Candy is absolutely heartbroken, but he does collect himself, and after George has been gone for a couple of minutes, he goes and gets the other men, brings them inside, and shows them the body. Curly and the other men seem to also realize instantly exactly what has happened, and Curly, rather than being overcome with grief, is furious and instantly wants to track Lenny down. Curly is organizing the men to a posse when Carlson breaks in and says, "Hey, my pistol," this is the gun that he used on Candy's dog, "my pistol is gone. Lenny must have taken it." As they're getting ready to leave, Slim takes George aside and he says, "Curly is not going to bring him in and let him be arrested. This is gonna go really badly." And that is the end of part 5.